Imagine a queen who endured more personal heartbreak than any monarch in British history. A woman pregnant 17 times, yet left childless, her womb a graveyard of hopes and heirs. A queen racked by excruciating gout, carried to her coronation in a sedan chair because she could no longer walk. A queen who ruled during one of Europe's bloodiest wars, forged a new nation from ancient rivals, and yet is often remembered as weak, overlooked, forgotten. This is Queen Anne, the last of the Stuarts, the unlikely architect of modern Britain. Her reign, 1702–1714, was short, just 12 years, but it reshaped the world. Victories that humbled France, a union that created Great Britain, and a peaceful transition that secured Protestant rule. Yet behind the triumphs lay profound sorrow, fierce friendships, and a body betrayed by illness. Tonight, we journey through the life of a queen who rose from the shadows of revolution to the throne of a divided kingdom. A story of resilience, loss, and legacy. Anne Stuart was born on February 6, 1665, at St. James's Palace, the second daughter of James, Duke of York, future James II, and his first wife, Anne Hyde. In an era of high infant mortality, Anne's early life was shadowed by death. Her mother died when she was just 6, and her uncle, King Charles II, dominated the court with his lavish restoration excesses. As a child, Anne suffered from an eye infection that required treatment in France. Weak and shy, she found solace in close friendships, none more intense than with Sarah Jennings, a bold, ambitious girl 5 years her senior who entered court as a maid of honor. The sisters, Anne and her elder Mary, were raised Protestant despite their father's secret Catholicism. When James II ascended in 1685, his open Catholicism sparked fear. In 1688, the Glorious Revolution deposed him. William of Orange and Mary became joint monarchs. Anne, loyal to Protestantism, supported the change, but felt the sting of family betrayal. Her marriage in 1683 to Prince George of Denmark, a kind but unremarkable man, offered stability. They were devoted, but tragedy soon struck. Anne's greatest personal tragedy was her inability to produce a surviving heir. Between 1684 and 1700, she was pregnant at least 17 times. Multiple miscarriages and stillbirths. 5 live births, but 4 children died in infancy. Her only son to reach childhood, William, Duke of Gloucester, born in 1689, suffered health issues and died at age 11 in 1700, from what may have been hydrocephalus or smallpox complications. Modern historians suggest possible causes: antiphospholipid syndrome, an autoimmune disorder causing recurrent miscarriages, or rhesus incompatibility. Anne's grief was profound. She mourned each loss deeply, yet endured with quiet devotion to her faith and duty. Prince George supported her through it all, but the lack of an heir loomed over her future reign. The Act of Settlement in 1701 bypassed Catholic Stuarts, settling the crown on distant Protestant relatives, the Hanoverians. On March 8, 1702, King William III died from a riding accident. Anne, aged 37, became queen, popular for her English roots and Anglican devotion, in contrast to the Dutch William. But peace was short-lived. Days later, England plunged into the War of the Spanish Succession, 1702–1713, a massive European conflict over who would inherit the Spanish throne. France backed a Bourbon claimant, threatening to dominate Europe. Britain allied with the Dutch, Austrians, and others against Louis XIV. Anne appointed her trusted friend, Sarah's husband, John Churchill as commander. Created Duke of Marlborough, he became one of history's greatest generals. The war's turning point. The Battle of Blenheim, August 13, 1704. Marlborough's daring march and brilliant tactics crushed the Franco-Bavarian army, saving Vienna and halting French expansion. Further victories followed: Ramillies, 1706, Oudenarde, 1708. Anne rewarded Marlborough lavishly, granting Blenheim Palace, a monumental Baroque masterpiece still standing today. No figure loomed larger in Anne's life than Sarah Churchill, Duchess of Marlborough. Their bond began in childhood. Passionate letters revealed deep affection. Sarah, witty and domineering, became Anne's confidant, influencing politics as a Whig supporter. As Queen, Anne elevated Sarah, mistress of the robes, keeper of the privy purse. The Marlboroughs dominated early reign, but cracks appeared. Sarah's bluntness clashed with Anne's desire for moderation. Political differences widened. Sarah pushed aggressive war. Anne sought peace. Enter Abigail Masham, Sarah's poorer cousin, a gentle bedchamber woman who gained Anne's favor. By 1710, the friendship shattered. Bitter arguments, Sarah dismissed in 1711. Sarah later published scathing memoirs, shaping Anne's weak image for centuries. Anne's greatest legacy: uniting England and Scotland. Separate parliaments caused friction, trade disputes, succession fears. Negotiations intensified after 1705 Alien Act threats. Commissioners hammered out terms: one parliament in Westminster, shared monarchy, free trade, preserved Scottish law and church. On May 1, 1707, the Acts of Union created the Kingdom of Great Britain. Anne became its first sovereign. Riots in Scotland protested, but economic benefits eventually flowed. Anne's era also saw cultural flourishing: completion of St. Paul's Cathedral under Christopher Wren, literary giants like Swift and Pope, and Queen Anne's bounty aiding poor clergy. By her 40s, Anne's health collapsed. Gout so severe she used a wheelchair, obesity, strokes. Prince George died in 1708, deepening isolation. Politics shifted. Tories gained power, dismissing Marlborough, signing peace. Jacobite plots supported her Catholic half-brother, but Anne upheld Protestant succession. In July 1714, a stroke left her unconscious. On August 1, 1714, aged 49, Anne died at Kensington Palace. Her doctor called death a merciful release. Her coffin, square due to swelling, was buried in Westminster Abbey beside her husband and children. Queen Anne, often dismissed as frail, presided over Britain's emergence as a global power. Marlborough's victories curbed French dominance. The Union created the foundation of the United Kingdom. Utrecht's gains fueled empire. She navigated Whig-Tory rivalries, laying groundwork for constitutional monarchy. No civil war marred her reign. The Hanoverian succession was peaceful. Yet her story is deeply human. A woman who bore unimaginable loss, ruled with quiet determination, and changed history despite pain. Anne was the last Stuart, but her Britain endures, united, victorious, transformed. In her own motto, Semper Idem, always the same, steadfast to the end, fade to portraits of Anne, Blenheim, St. Paul's, and the modern Union Jack.